Dwayne, what's going on, my friend? Welcome to another episode of No Country for Otakus. We still trying to work out this 2-week thing because it keeps turning to 3 weeks. Keeps turning to 3 weeks and shit. But we still here. We still bringing no episodes. Just we're just getting our lives started out right now.
Good stories.
So going on about good stories, man. We got another soft-hearted one for you today. Shh. Do you even call this Slice of Life?
So we on 38 or 39?
39. Episode 39. One from the Big 40. Big 40. It's going to be we'll tell you what we're going to do for that one at the end of the show. So how you doing, man? How you doing? How things in jolly old England?
Oh, same old, nothing new. Rioting for gas.
That's crazy, man. I never really hear about it. Like, I haven't really heard about it here.
Queuing for chicken.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said. You said what for chicken?
Queuing.
Y'all have food shortage over there too? Dang, I knew Brexit was going to be rough, man.
And then
I didn't think it was going to be this rough.
I think that's what the media is purposely not.
So they're not talking about it because I don't really hear about anything, man. Like, honestly, I was like, man, you told me about the gas shortage? I was like, what? I was like checking on, not checking online. Because when you check online, you see it from, like, remember that video you sent me with that guy singing about gas? Like, I see that, yeah. But I don't see any, like, I don't want to see official, but, like, the big media, big people talking about it, right?
News.
I was like, that's crazy, yo.
Of course not. Yeah, we got shredded of food. So chicken is one of the sources that is very hard to find.
Y'all can't go back into the EU. Just jump back in. Like, see where y'all jump back in.
Bro,
if you
want us back?
I didn't say that. I didn't ask that. That's not a good question to ask. Anyway, back on to that's fucking nuts, man. On my end,
because I sat down and thought about it the other day, and because everybody was saying, "Oh, it's Brexit fault, and we should blame the people who vote for Brexit and all sorts of junk." But I was like, well, yeah, but it was the government initiated. So should we really be blaming the people who vote yes? And then do you really feel the government can give you such an important decision? But hey, conspiracy theorists. But my thing is, regardless of all that, England was built on slavery. No matter how you want to put it, England was built on slavery. And it was built on the idea of captivating and holding islands and other places that had the resources that could fuel the Bronze Age and the coal mine age. Now, England is built on all that old money. So if you really sit down and think about it, Brexit wasn't going to work regardless of how much money you get, because England has nothing that is a resource to trade with anyone. It was built on taking the resources from everyone else to support the island. So if you go away from the one place that is going to trade with you, but hey, I'm not from England.
That boy sip tea, bro. That's fucking hot shit. That boy sip tea, dog. So I'm gonna go ahead and sip this tea here real quick. All right. Well,
how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. Over here, everybody pretty much just acting like COVID don't exist. So everybody just going on about their lives, everything. It's weird because you got lockdown and I don't know, different states doing different stuff. We had another hurricane.
Yeah,
a small hurricane passed through.
I never understood that.
Hey man, look, man, bro, the Texas government wilding, but then you got people that it don't make no sense. Like everyone, like the way things here is like politicians are almost like
see it for themselves.
That and politicians like celebrities. So people will blindly follow a person even if they're doing absolute bullshit. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like, oh, you must be like somebody be like, oh, you must be a liberal. And I'm like, nah, I think for myself, I listen to what the person says. But that person could be selling me snake oil. But anyway, you know, so we the earth on fire, guys. If you're an alien and you're seeing this on YouTube on Alien TV, you know, stay away. It's not worth it, man.
Have pity and laugh from a distance.
I swear they drive by, it's like, that's the ghetto right there, bro. That's the fucking ghetto, bro. Look at all that space trash, bro. Every week they launch something into the sky. They don't go nowhere. That's the ghetto, bro. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this thing. This week we doing Vaioretto Evāgāden. It is on Netflix, man. Hell of an anime, nice and slow. Slice of life type, heartwarming, heartstrings. With a little bit of action. Yeah, there was a little, very small bit. Hey man, but when it showed up, the action, it showed up, man. Vaioretto a badass.
Yes.
She a fucking badass, bro. She had a nickname.
She might have lost her step as she got older, but she was dangerous.
True. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and let's get into the Let's Chat segment.
Let's chat.
I love that. All right. So Vaioretto Evāgāden, bro.
Fuck. You want to give the summary this time?
So basically, this anime Vaioretto Evāgāden is based on light novels, written obviously in Japan and stuff. And I got it written down here, so because I know I usually ramble when I give summaries. Pretty much it's about this girl that survived the war. She was pretty much a kid during this war and stuff. They found her, pretty much tried to use her as a weapon. And she got attached onto this major that kind of didn't want to use her as a weapon. So he was like trying to teach her, you know, like educate her and stuff and treat her good while all the battling was going on. And at the beginning of the episode, so you find her. She has like metallic arms because she lost her arms in the final battle. Old dude gone. At this point, we assume he's dead. He should be dead. Anyway. And after that, it's pretty much just her. She gets attached onto this guy that owns a postal service. And from there, it's pretty much her just growing and getting. I'm trying to make it short so we can discuss it. Growing and getting better at and through she becomes a doll, which is a person that types letters for people and stuff. Through that, it shows a progression of her growing and maturing and healing, and as she through letters and leaving the anime to make letter writing interesting. And that's pretty much the base of it.
We knew this from Death Note.
Bruh. Death Note, man. Killing in writing.
Every time cool. I still sign my chats the same way. Halfway across the room.
That boy was on the other side of the room, man. Fucking Death Note. So that's pretty much the gist of it. As we go through, we'll unpack more stuff. Like I said, they had the light novels, 4 volumes. Then they had the TV anime, which is on Netflix, 13 episodes plus 1 OVA. And then there's 2 movies, Vaioretto Evergarden, Eternity, and the Auto Memory Doll. And than the movie. It's just called the movie. And that one came out last year. That's the one that I was telling you about.
Okay.
That I posted a picture of myself on Instagram crying. Like, not like, but like,
that was it.
It was like my eyes were teared up. Yeah, because I was like, I didn't know it existed. I watched it just before. That's why I asked you if we still going at the same time, so it would give me time to finish it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know about it till like last night.
Bro, I didn't know about it at all. Yeah. I thought when I see the Instagram post, I thought it was the season you was watching.
I didn't post with
Oh my god!
Because the season So Dwayne, tell me what you think about it, man. Let's go into your thoughts first, and then we'll break it down into different.
Oh man! All right, so I thought it was a very beautiful anime, and I'm very, very keen to see the differences between how we both view this anime, because you have a military background. I have a recruitment background, so I never got that far.
I say never got that far, bro.
Like I started and I was like, yeah, not for me. So I'm very, very keen to hear what your views on it was. But the characters were beautiful. There are some characters that I would have wanted to dive into more, like the relationship between Hodgkins and his main lady.
The Catalina, the black hair girl,
right? Yeah,
yeah. We all wanted to know, but that story ain't about them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it wasn't about them. So I was happy that in like the first movie, with the one where they picked up the orphan, they kind of brushed on it a little bit more.
Yeah,
and also about the other guy who was a soldier, but you never really knew because he was just running around mailing stuff, and then you see the skills. I was like, yo,
the guy that used to wear heels.
Yeah,
dude, that dude was ridiculous. My boy running around delivering mailing heels, bro.
He was almost as militant as
bro,
Violet, and that's when I kind of realized, like, yo, he was in the army too.
They all was in the military. And so the city is loosely based on France because they built the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like,
so yeah, they all European people.
France?
Yeah, sort of.
Well, I was like, yeah. But it was good. It was good. I thoroughly enjoyed. I almost called her Vivi because she looked kind of like Vivi, just with blonde hair.
This is VV level animation here, bro.
Yeah, it is. So I wanted to check out if that was if it was the same artist person, or at least the same studio, but I never did. I thoroughly enjoyed Violet's character development.
Man.
And I will admit it, I cried when, like, from episodes 1 till about 7, she was broken. Like, she was broken, right? She was broken, and her quest to understand love was heartwarming, and you ended up, like, you didn't just end up rooting for her, you ended up wanting to understand what her version of love was. Because if you think about it, even with Vivi had the same quest. It's just that hers was doing it through music. Like, how do I bear my soul through music? And so you're following Violet, and like, it was all good, but when episode 7 hit, and her what do you call them? Her stepmother was like, yeah, we just came from visiting the major. And she was like, what?
Can't visit.
Listen.
Because you thought he was alive the whole time, bro.
Yeah. My stomach dropped me. I was like, all right.
You almost forgot for a minute that she didn't know that he was dead. It was like,
yeah, because you still had hope, like, okay, when he's gonna turn up. B, my heart dropped, my stomach dropped, and I was like, shh, all right, this freak out gonna be bad. But how bad this freak out gonna be? I man, you see, man, she started going back to the scene of crime, and like blood start washing on the whole, like flooding the place. I was like, yo, she on a full mental break on me. I was so sad. I was like,
PTSD
yo,
like a motherfucker,
babes,
bro.
like, do you see this? Like, this is rough. This is rough. And all the while I was watching it, I was like, I wonder if this got a different impact for Sean, because he's seen how army vets are sometimes after coming back from the war and things like that. And that was the other thing. I've done a lot of research on army vets and stuff like that, because they are mainly because of you know, is my little brother and stuff like that. I love you and things like that. So looking into it because of you, and also like hearing these stories from other vets about the stuff that they go through and the PTSD and things like that. So then watching Violet it was a bit harsh in some ways, because here it is, you not only understand it from an army point of view, but from a war-torn point of view, where you got children who was brought up as an army. So you got this, which freaked me out, 14-year-old girl. Don't look nothing like 14. And
oh, you mean Violet's 14 at the beginning?
yeah.
And then are you talking about the princess girl that freaked your wife up?
No, the princess is 10, but but Violet, even when Violet was there, she was 14 years old.
Okay. No, okay. I was getting confused.
A bit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know it time skip a bit, but like, she didn't understand what the word beautiful meant. And then in that scene, you kind of realize that it wasn't that she didn't love the major as well, is that all she knew was what she was taught and what she had picked up during fighting. So the simplicities and the intricacies of human relation made her a social outcast.
She didn't know what anything was. You remember when she got picked up from the major?
Yeah.
She was literally a wild beast. Remember when the guy, oh, sorry, go ahead. Finish your thoughts before.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, because you remember when the major got introduced to her from his brother, who used to pretty much treat her like trash. She couldn't talk, read, nothing. Literally. So, you know, you throw her, he's like, yeah, she's a weapon. You can use her as you want. And that shit was crazy, man. So she was doomed from the start, and all she knew was military stuff. And he tried to teach her, but you know, she was so way behind on the development curve, because up to that point she had no love. So it kind of explained why, as she was learning what he meant by I love you and stuff, and she was trying to figure out what love was. Man, it was crazy, because at one point, like, in my head, I was like, man, she kind of got like an unhealthy addiction to the, not addiction, but like attachment to the major character. Mm-hmm. But then I realized, like, that's the first guy that showed her any real kindness at all. Even like at all. Like, you know,
it sounds bad, but it's kind of like
it's child soldiers, huh? What's up?
No. Well, not necessarily. I was thinking something different. Domestic abuse.
Yeah.
You get a girl with low self-esteem, and then she gets involved with a husband who shows her love for the first 3 months, and then the rest of the months he just beats her ass, and she thinks it's love.
And she doesn't know any. Yeah, she doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
So when that particular person finally gets away, and then they do meet somebody, they expect that. But he yeah, man, he treated her real good, man. He didn't even want her to fight.
Sorry,
he didn't want him to. He didn't want her to. He didn't want her to fight, but the military kind of forced him to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why he never let her leave his agent. I ain't getting into that.
I was coughing, sir.
So all right. So my thoughts on this show, like you said, man. Yeah, man. Obviously, I was lucky. I never really got too much into the shit. You know, I've been around a couple of explosions and stuff, but I'm not infantry, so I never actually got fired at or anything. Never had anything drastic compared to a lot of other veterans that I know.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone gets affected differently. Some people come home really angry. In her case, some people come home socially awkward. If you watch the final movie that recently came out, I wish you had seen it, but none of us knew the fucking thing existed. It shows it's on. I don't know. I can't find it on my Netflix. So if it's on Netflix, that's great. I didn't watch it on Netflix. I watched it in Japanese. No. I didn't even get to see it in English.
Yeah, because Violet, before it was on Netflix, it was originally with the studio.
All right, so but in the most recent movie, it shows the major shows up at the end, pretty much, and it shows him how the war affected him after the fact. You know what I mean? So his effect was different, and I've seen that happen. So like it was just like crazy. But anyway, so. As for the story, like you said, man, I really appreciated the time and effort. And in 13 episodes, there's something about these 13 episodes, bro. Like, I'm gonna be real. Well, obviously, you had the movie and stuff, but like, if there was no movie or OVA, honestly, you didn't even need the movies because the 13 episodes did so much that you could have just left.
And the movies wasn't even related to the season.
Pretty much, they were standalone. But because by the end of the story, it was 5 or 6 years later, the last final movie. Mm-hmm. So they all time jump. So it's spread out over a period of time. But if you just watch the series, 13 episodes, quality. I don't know. This studio had time. This animation, dog, we go get at that. Oh, but yeah, man, it was brilliant to see her progression. I agree with you, man. There's some characters in there that I wish we knew a little more about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The relationship between Claudia,
Lucilia,
and Catalina.
Oh, Claudia.
Lucilia? Oh, well, her story kind of got wrapped up, like, you know, between her and her brother. So, I
kind of,
because the brother got back on his feet, he started working and stuff. She met a dude later.
He started working. She met a new major. So I was like, well, does he work with the son, with the brother, or? I mean, it's not important. It's just a little interest.
Oh yeah. It's one of those situations that you know. It'd be nice to know how that happened. There's some characters that you saw once because almost each episode was once she finally learned to write. Because when she first started, bro, she was brutal. You remember that woman? That woman that came to her to write a love letter. She was like saying, "Oh, you know," she was trying to play hard to get. She wrote it just like this: "You broke. I don't want you." She could pick up context clues at first, and that's obvious. You know, she only knows how war and stuff like that. That's all she knew. She only literal. So so when she finally learned to write, as she was going on, each story was her interacting with a person that was going through something, because these are the most powerful fucking letters I ever seen written. Holy shit, these letters that she was writing. I was like, God damn, woman. Like, I wrote a letter when I was in basic training. I wrote a letter the other day. Hey, Dad, basic training sucks. Love you. Bye. Like, I'm just saying. So like, it was funny to see like letters like this, but obviously one is anime and two, you gotta drive the story. So, but there was multiple characters, like that character that was stargazing, the stargazing dude.
He was affected by the war.
Yeah, because he was an orphan too and stuff, and he was like all up in his fucking like all stiff and shit, talking about, I dictate fast, so you better be ready. Women can't do this job. Wrong. Anyway, so but he like said he's going to see
the story that really got me was
Wait before you get there. Hold that thought.
Go ahead.
Let me just finish this. So it was funny because he said he was going to leave and see the world, and he hoped to see her again, but you never see his character again. You know what I mean? It would have been nice to see him like then meet up at least one more. He's like, I traveled the world just to find out what happened to him.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our thoughts on the overall thing. Dwayne, what's your favorite episode or most heart-wrenching or whatever?
Oh boy, favorite episode. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, but you was just about to tell me.
I would. Yeah. The episode I enjoyed the most.
Or the one that had the most impact.
The one with the daughter who died from cancer because she couldn't travel to the north. Or was it the south? The north, yes. Because remember they were building the railroad.
Right.
And the railroad would have gone to the north. And all the doctors that would have given her the medicine that to extend their life would have been in the north. So she died. And he was broken. And then he was like, man.
Oh, you mean when she ran across the water, bro? Well, she tried to.
Bruh.
She almost made it, yo. That shit was crazy. That's some Jesus level shit.
She was like, I was only able to step 3 times. But B, there was so much little details in that one scene, right? That was so beautiful. Mm-hmm. First of all, it was the written part of the story leading to that, to build that connection between him and Violet was beautifully thought out. Like, because in order for him to really see his daughter doing that jump, like the relationship between two of them would have had to build first. Even when she was cooking and nearly poisoning the man.
She fucking tried, man. She tried.
and you could see that kind of cracked his shell because she would have been the same age as Violet, but she didn't look nothing like Violet.
Right.
So then the next part of it was the side story that was being built underneath that as well, which was the play that they were writing, mm-hmm. and how it was something magical. So then you got the main story, you got the B story, and then you get to the artwork. And when she did the first jump, like the way that the dress blew, it gave a sense of intensity. Like this was a really powerful jump. But yet, because the dress was frilly, it gave a sense of grace as well. And it made me think of how swans land on the lake. And I was like, yo, like they would have had to really sit down and go like, okay, what are we gonna do in this scene? And it'd be like, we're gonna make you move like a swan and really study how a swan does like land on the lake and stuff like that. Because if you watch a swan land, like you do see the ripples come out. So when her first step hit and the dress ruffle, it was like how the feathers is flat or like span out to catch the wind so that they could land that soft. And I was like, yo, this is freaking amazing. And I started to freak out. And then I was like, yo, this is beautiful. And then water started coming from my eyes. I was like, this is so beautiful. This is beautiful. I swear, the breath work for Zod killing Guts and Griffith.
Oh Lord! Why you equate this to violence? To violence.
But it was beautiful. It was so beautiful, and I was like, oh my God, I would love to do something like this. Like this is just so great, and it was glorious. It was glorious. I absolutely enjoyed that scene, and yeah, that was it. The other scenes that was good. Nothing else. I enjoyed the fight here, but nothing else compared to that scene. Not saying that it wasn't good, but nothing else compared to the height.
There's a lot of scenes in here that to me hit home. As I was trying to tell Dwayne that because I had watched the series and the OVA, I think. No, I watched all. Yeah, the only thing I hadn't watched was the last movie that I just watched today. But I had watched them. So I had watched them when they first came out. So I had to watch it over. Still hit home. So for me, my favorite episode, and I had told Dwayne about this before he even watched it, because I didn't know he didn't get that far yet, was this one. She took a job for this woman that was sick, and her daughter was there, right?
Yo.
And she had to write. So this whole time they're in this little garden area, and she's writing letters for this woman, and the woman's the daughter. The woman, like every once in a while, she'll like collapse and stuff, so she'll need to rest, and she'll go rest. And so Violet's playing with the daughter, and it's being narrated from the daughter's perspective. So the daughter's talking about like when she showed up one day, she was a doll. I was like, oh wow, a living doll. So she had a doll, a little toy doll that she used to play with and stuff. So she's playing with so Violet Evergarden is kind of playing with her in between writing letters for her mom and stuff. And obviously Violet's like, awkward. So she's like, you're a weird person. It was like cute and stuff. But the part, one of the parts that
I wanted to get rid of that girl.
I don't know.
Different perspective.
But well, I understand because she's a kid, and she wants to spend time with her mom, but she can't because her mom has a task to do. She needs to finish this. And the whole time you're watching it, it's like, man, this little girl just leave her mom alone, man. But I understand because she wants her mom's attention. Even at close to the end of the episode, she's talking to Violet. She's like, I didn't really want you to tie the ribbon. I wanted my mom to tie the ribbon. I want her to play with me and catch bugs and stuff. You know what I mean? She knows that her mom's sick, but she's at that age that she can't really process it properly because she just wants to have a relationship with her mom, which is beautiful. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't have relationships with their parents. So, and she told her she's going to be there for 7 days. So like at the 7th day, Violet finally leaves and stuff. They have a heartwarming goodbye and stuff. And I'm like, what was she writing for 7 days? Then it jumps forward a little bit. Her mom finally passes away from whatever illness she had. And she was writing a letter. 50 years of birthday letters. 50? Nigga, I cried.
from year 10.
Bruh. Like, do you understand? Like, you grieving, your mom passed away, and then a postman show up and be like, hey, 50 years of letters, dog? That one was tough. That was the one that actually put me in the casket. I had to stop watching it for like a day after that. I was like, all right, I gotta stop. This shit too much. Because obviously there was still that episode with that dude. That one was fucking crazy. When she opened up the fucking parasol, when she opened up the umbrella and that dude freaked the fuck out. And then because he was an alcoholic. And the thing about it is, it's like, you felt for that dude, man. He lost his wife first. Mm-hmm. And then he lost his daughter. Bro,
both to the same illness.
Both to the same illness. Like, a weaker man jumps off a cliff. And that's and I won't even say a weaker man. A broken man. He was Okay.
Because
he just found the bottle.
I know guys, like a lot of you guys tell me that I'm strong to deal with my depression and things like that. I because of my groups, I've met guys that are stronger. And some of the things, like I actually put it in my book. One of the guys that I met, his wife and daughter, they were all drug addicts. And the wife and daughter OD'd. And he was broken. When I say broken, like his eyes look lifeless. And he killed himself. And then when we went to the funeral, you heard about all the things that he went through when he was young. Abusive father, mother used to like peddle him to men for money and all sorts of junk. Didn't really go to school till he was like 15 and had to learn for himself to provide for the same family. But drugs was what used to keep his trauma away, and then that's where he met his girl. So yeah, that one was rough. And then too, as a parent, just losing your best friend. If he had lost his daughter and then the wife, it would have hit differently.
Probably.
But I could only speak for myself. Losing my best friend first, because a mother's love is built on the relationship, that 9 months that they have with their kid. And for the dad, there's love, but it's not as maternal. We don't have that deep bond in those times of creating life, so to speak. We just see the life, hear it crying, and say, "Shut the fuck up."
You was going so well. You was going so well, bro. And then you said that.
But you know, to lose, but you build your entire love around your best friend, and then that love intercedes into the child's life because it's something that you made with your best friend. So to lose your best friend first, like there's a part of you that, you know, takes the love that you have for that best friend and puts it on your child. It's a lot of people say it's wrong because you put an expectation on them to kind of grow up, to kind of be in the same limelight. You don't really allow them to be themselves. But if you really think about it, I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's a way for you to grasp on to what you had. So then to lose that, it was rough, B. It is rough. So when I saw that episode, I was like, yo, I need to watch this in doses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because this is heartbreaking. So there was that scene. The scene with the mother, yeah, that was rough. I think another scene that made me cry. Actually, no, this one scene like made me tear up. When the final scene, the final letter before she wrote hers, when she saved the guy from the army from being killed, but he was bleeding out, and she took the letter back to the family. And
what was crazy about that episode is that bitch jumped on the fucking plane. I like I wasn't ready for that.
Cool. It was cool.
It was cool. And then it was like, hey, here's some action. No, drop your heart.
Bruh. Like I was
that
all
one hit different
cool
though.
And dandy.
That one hit different.
I was all cool and dandy until the mother hugged her and she was like, "No, do not thank me." Like
I didn't save him.
I couldn't save him. Like and she tried everything possible. And when she started to break down, I was like, yo, this woman can crack again, your kid. I was like, I can't watch this happen already. She just came back from the major. Like she was collecting dirt, dog. She went to Margaret's site at school putting dirt. and put it. The people's hold it to the chest. She put it in her shirt. B, I couldn't handle that again. I was like, yo, okay, like let me just start this here. I mean, watch DuckTales. B. I was like, kids, you want to watch that?
So
I watch DuckTales. B.
Yeah, that one was definitely crazy. It did end on a little action note though. The series on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was still some faction of the people that wanted to fight. It was crazy, right? No, they could have just showed these dudes as just regular terrorists and stuff, and just call it a day. But there was a part when the old guy that was on the group that was trying to blow up the train and stuff, when he explained the reasoning on why he wanted the war to keep going and stuff. And he was like, dude, when we joined the military to go to fight, we were promised that that when we win, or no, at the end of the war, we will be welcome home as heroes. But the war ended. There was many had died. There was no welcome. It was no, bro. And also because I'm coming from a military background, there's many people pass away in wars on both sides, you know, and time passes, and you know, family members may remember you, but the bigger picture, like most of the time, society as a whole don't remember the individuals. They remember obviously the collective as the military.
They remember the statistic.
Right, but they won't remember the individual. They won't remember John or Jane, stuff like that, right? Which is heartbreaking. Yeah. So I understood his agony. Now, what he did was fucking wrong, and you know. Yeah. But I understood it. What it was so brilliant. What I liked about this anime and the writers and whatever is that it's not just it's not just a bad guy. They have their reasonings too. And they were able to relay that reasoning during that final 2 episodes.
And it's an emotional reasoning that you can understand.
Yeah. It was broken down so you can understand. But then my boy with the heels broke that fucking bomb off the bridge. He did the jump kick. My boy militant, bro. And she broke it off with her arm. With her arm, literally. Yeah. But she had metal arm prosthetics, and that's how the season ended. And then it was brilliant, man. It was
in relation to what you were saying about the opposing major as well. I got what you were saying when I watched it, but then the other part of it that I understood as well is actually from the community side. Like they lost.
Yeah.
I have never seen anyone after like those last 4 or 6 years of Usain Bolt versus Justin Gatlin. I have never seen any American going up to Justin Gatlin and going, "Oh my God, B, I am so happy. You come second. That's amazing." It's always like, "Nah, you lost to Usain, dog. We don't want to hear nothing from you." Like no one likes a loser. So then you got to think about it. They lost the last stronghold that they had, but yet they were fighting for their country, and they lost, and they came home. Nobody again.
Nobody checking for them.
And then the sad thing is a hypothetical, because even the winners came home and then didn't get welcome. Yeah. It was just like
it was almost like kind of like American soldiers coming home from Vietnam. You hear them stories of how people treated them. Even though like some of them was just, you know, what does Private Joe know? Just following orders, man. And it was drafting back then, so they didn't really have much choice. It wasn't voluntary. Anyway, yes, that's true. No, you know, you come home after losing, because then that's why that marriage was so important, because it was joining those 2 nations together and stuff. When she did the love letters for the girl that your wife that your wife was freaking out. She's how old? She's like, I wasn't ready for that.
No.
So man. So yeah, that was pretty much the end of the series. And then there was an OVA after, which was her writing lyrics for an opera singer. Did you watch that one? Episode 14?
No. I watched the one for the
you just watched the
orphanage. The orphanage. The two orphan girls.
Okay, so there was an OVA episode which was she was hired by this woman. She's an opera singer, and she was trying to sing us. The point was the lyrics of the song was her writing a letter to a lover that left for war and then come back. Because a lot of people at this time, obviously, this was like 3 years after, or something like around there.
This was post the railroad building.
Yeah.
Before the war was done.
Yeah, the war is officially done. Like it's peacetime now, but obviously a war ends.
Aftermath.
But there's still healing and a lot of stuff that comes after. A lot of people, especially back then, man, body's not coming. Well, it happens now. Body's not coming back, stuff like that. So she wanted to make a opera singing the lyrics to a letter about the husband that didn't come home. But it was supposed to be a way that it impacts everybody because it was supposed to help make everybody feel like they're healing, right? Like, I had a husband too, or I had a wife, or whatnot. So it was her navigating how to write it because she was writing it like, I know I really, 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 really love you. The woman was like, nah. So one day the woman walked, and the opera woman actually went through that. She goes every night and stands by a train station. No, train station? Is it a train station? Yeah, train station. She stands by a train station and waits because the husband was supposed to come back through that train station, but he MIA, so he probably is dead. So he never comes home. So every night that she thing. And man, at the end of this thing, man, when they do the song, brilliant, bro. She wrote them lyrics down. I was like, oh my God, you've come so far in 14 episodes. No, it's crazy to see the development between Violet episode 1 and Violet then. Yeah. To be able to write something like that makes both people feel aware, both male, female, boy, girl, whatever, child, adult, when they watch that play. It was crazy. I was like, man, you should check it out. It's on Netflix too. It's like 30 minutes.
Okay.
You want to check out these things after the fact. And then obviously there was the movie about the orphanage, that was another crazy one because that girl, I thought she had tuberculosis.
I did too.
Yeah, because she was coughing. Well, tuberculosis in a death sentence. She just had to get out that cold area. Nah, it's not.
Yeah. Could have been pneumonia as well. Because she wasn't coughing.
I was about to say it probably was pneumonia and not tuberculosis. It was probably pneumonia.
Yeah.
Because she was living in that cold area and not eating and stuff. The reason I said tuberculosis is because she was also like kind of malnourished. But then if it was that,
but
the kid
been coughing up blood.
That and the kid would have been fucked up too, probably, because I think it's contagious.
Yeah.
But it wasn't compared. I might be wrong. I don't know. I did fail the tuberculosis test though. Apparently I got exposed to it.
What?
Like chancing Barbies, probably. I don't know. I found out when they joined the military, they was like, I had to go do a whole class and shit. They do this thing on your hand. Anyway, what was I going to say? The first movie is good. Compared to the series though, the series is definitely the superior. But obviously you got more time to flesh out characters, stuff like that. They were focusing on two people, these sisters. They weren't really blood sisters. But the movie's pretty good. Good follow-up. And then the final movie is it. Like, There's nothing after this. There ain't no more. Like if you watch the final movie, no, the way it finishes, like
you can't bring it back to life.
Yeah, because you unless you tell like more side story, but honestly, it's one of these situations that after you watch him, you're gonna understand. Just don't touch it, man. It's good. You got it. 98%. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The money grab shows be killing me, bro, because they spoil it. They spoil it. And we've seen it happen way too many times.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, sir. So we got pretty much covered most of it. Let's go ahead and jump into some ratings, big dog.
Ratings.
All right. So
do you have the categories written?
Okay, I was about to say we kind of got a structure here now because last time we was all over the place. It was fucking up my graphics. So we will talk about story, characters, music, and then overall. All right.
Story, characters, music, overall.
Story
is a 5.
Okay.
It was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
sorry.
Would watch it
I'm missing one. Story, characters, animation, music, overall. 3.
Okay.
Because it's anime.
Story, characters, music, animation. All right.
Okay.
And then overall. Story is a 5.
Right.
Like I would highly recommend it to anybody. But you can only watch that shit once. Like
man, I watched it twice, bro. My heartstrings come on down.
I know, right? Like, oh my gosh, like is that anime is painful. Especially if you got family in the military, you'll have another view or perspective of it. But it was good. It was very, very enjoyable. The action was enjoyable. And the action was in all the right places. And I think this is the first anime where it was like, you see that guy? He needs to die. Like, I enjoyed every character, even the bad guys, because the bad guys wasn't really bad. They just had a different emotional experience that justified why they were doing what they were doing.
War, man.
So you didn't agree with what they were doing, but you understood. So that story. Characters, to be honest, I'm gonna give characters a 4.5.
Just give him the fucking
There were
5,
some. Huh?
Go ahead. Let's hear the reasoning.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 5, but I'll give it a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Violet, Bougainvillea, and Major, everybody else was a plot device. But there were still at least 1 or 2 of those plot devices that you were like, yo, that would be interesting to find out. So, because of that, I get a 4.5. Be like, should satisfy my interest. But nah, I can't lie. I can't get 4.5. It's a 5.
I was like, damn, bro, like that. Good try though.
Music. Music was beautiful. Every time I think about these minutes, I keep remembering my favorite scene, and the music placed behind that jump was awesome. It was almost as awesome as when Clark first learned to fly in Man of Steel, and the music was just so inspiring. And you were like, I can fly! And you had this feeling like, I should go on the roof and try something.
Don't let Hans Zimmer get you in trouble, bro.
The music for Evergarden was beautiful, man. It was really, really beautiful. What was the next one? Animation? That was a 5 2B. That was a 5.
Jesus.
It looked like frame by frame animation. I'm not sure. I didn't research it. Don't quote me on that, but it was just such a beautiful animation. The backgrounds was well lit, and vibrant. The colors of the characters were well drawn out and detailed. That you could kind of that it didn't distract away from the character development itself. The sakuga, which is the action in the animation, was absolutely amazing, and it was engrossing as well. Like I gotta get a 5. So that is story, character, music, animation.
Overall,
I'll be honest, I didn't really listen to the intro. After like the first, I listened to the intro once, the first one. I know this is getting back on music. I listened to the intro the first time, and after I saw the first episode, I was so heartbroken. I forgot to like tell Netflix I want to see the intro so I could like get a feel.
oh, so you just auto skipped it?
I was just so engrossed in story. I was like, what's gonna happen next? So overall, I gotta get a stamp of approval, man.
Yes, sir.
This was a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. All right. So this Dwayne's 5 out of 5. 5s across the board. Woo! That's hard to get with Dwayne, bro. So story 1. I'm joking. All right. So story. What can I say, man? This was I recommended this for this because brilliant story, man. Between development, interactions, using different characters, like he said, plot, even though they were like kind of like plot stuff, they were plot points because they all impacted the main character Violet in her growth. While even in her way, she was helping them, like the guy that the playwright dude. If you watch the movie, if you watch the OVA,
even her colleague,
right,
who went from writing letters to writing a book,
right?
And she just sat back and be an assistant.
She stopped right. Yeah, her. We didn't even mention her. Even the other girl that went home and she with her parents and stuff. So from that little small town girl that wanted to be the best writer. So so brilliant story. I got no problems with it. Characters, I thought, even though like you said, like there was some characters you was like, man, I wish I could know more about their story and stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of the characters were used to build Violet's growth. Hey man, at least they didn't feel wasted. Like, like when we had talked about Kenshin and like your who dude
Sano.
Like Sano felt like a wasted character.
Sano and Yoshi.
Yeah, right. None of the characters in this anime and any of the stories that really came up felt wasted. Even the villains, they were throwaway villains. The guys at the end trying to derail the peace signing, they didn't even feel like after the guy discussed and they talked about it, even they had a very important part to play in the story.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan, man. And I finished that manga. Anyway, so 5 for characters, man. They were all really good. Music, like Dwayne said, though, honestly, I listened to the intro like twice probably because I watched it all the first time and I watched it this time. But as for the score and stuff throughout the anime, it was brilliant. It didn't feel like it was forced, like that anime we reviewed the other back. Recreators, where the song didn't fit the moment. Every song fit the moment, especially when she was trying to jump across the river with her umbrella to help finish the story and stuff, help that dude heal. Brilliant music. Showing the girl growing up to up to 20 years old. She was getting a letter every day. Even to the action scene at the end. Even to the action scene at the end when she was pulling the bomb off the bridge. They just had the perfect songs. the perfect scores for every moment, it's hard to not give this a fight, in my opinion. So, animation, bruh. When you give an animated studio time, Vivi, this, bruh, you get masterpieces. Inuyashiki, like, so well done, man. This was so well done. Like you said, color. Obviously, Dwayne sees more in animation than I do. As just Joe Blow looking at this animation, this fucking thing was beautiful, man. The only thing that I could say that is way animation was to me that was way better than this is Akira. Akira's animation was god level, in my opinion, because of how they showed the facial
for the year it came.
For the time it came out, wasn't that like 90s?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like 1991.
That's why I say
like
why Akira's to me is leaps and bounds is because then in 90s to have that level of animation, like, bruh. But that's just me though. Hey, don't quote me on it. I'm just Joe Blow. So animation 5, this was high level, man. For all the drive, everything. Just from her pulling her when she was like, "I'm a doll," you know, she's like introducing herself, "I'll go anywhere." Just even that, man. From her crying, bruh. From blowing the fuck up. Brilliant. And overall,
that was
what more can I fucking say, guys? 5 across the board on both sides. Stat of approval. Run the fucking clip. Yes, sir. Oh my god.
Every time you say that, right?
What?
You just make it sound like it's
It just gives me a point to know. It just gives me a point to know where to post it.
I know, right? But it reminds me of this show, where like the guy was at a rodeo, and the guy was like on the bucking bronco, and he was like, "Yeah, he's doing it, bang that effing drum," and this was just a random guy in the background, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, who's next?
Oh god. All right, so we talked. That was a good discussion there. Let's do a short shoot of the shit segment here. I know it's like going up to 10 o'clock on your end.
Shoot your shit.
Shoot shit. All right.
Yeah, I freaked my wife out, dude.
All right, man. We gonna wrap up here pretty quick. So you go ahead. Would you watch anything recently, man? I haven't really been watching much, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, I watched the new Baki.
Oh, it's out. No. So how'd you watch it?
It is out. I'm saying
it's not good compared to all the other seasons.
Grapes we have compared to all the other seasons. Remember the grapes that we have a Record of Ragnarok?
No, they didn't do that.
A lot of it felt like slideshow animation, and there was a lot of narration. Like the first episode itself was this little boy narrating all the Baki shadow boxing moves. Like, sorry, the first 3 episodes was Baki shadow boxing, and this little boy just saying, "Oh, I can see that he's fighting Iron Mike Tyson, and now he's fighting the praying mantis, and the praying mantis grabbed him by his head." And I'm like, but you've created the 100-kilogram praying mantis as a shadow figure that we can see. Why does he need to narrate? So that kind of went on for a lot of it. A lot of it really was a narration about the characters and stuff like that, and not necessarily about the fighting. And then when they came to the fighting, oh gosh, I can't remember which animation it was, but you know when they take like a lot of fight scenes and they do it in pause frames, and they just move the camera to make it feel like it's moving. It was kind of like that. So Baki ended up fighting Unchin, and he was gonna give him an uppercut. So he was freeze like this, and On-Chain was coming down like this, and then there was that, and then there was another scene where they was like punching each other at the same time, and it was
That's weird. Why did they change the animation style? They had a thing going, man. They always had the moving stuff. That's disappointing to hear. I haven't seen it.
That had some scenes where it was still Baki-esque kind of thing, but
yeah,
it was just mostly talking and narration.
So did it progress the story? Like, the whole thing is him fighting his dad at the end, I assume.
Nah,
that's unfortunate.
He just fights On-Chain in hope stuff. Like the dad fought an African elephant, and he was like, "Oh, I need to fight something stronger," so he fights On-Chain. That is it. And in the midst of him fighting On-Chain, he learns that there are two other people under his father, which was On-Chain and another man called Gevaro. And Gevaro wanted to fight On-Chain. So
I gotta check it out, man. I gotta check it out. I'll still check it out to see what's up it's because I watched all the other seasons, so might as well just check this. But I've been lacking.
Hey, you need to watch 7 Deadly Sins and let me know what you think.
I don't know why it feels like a chore to watch that fucking anime.
Because you know that I'm right. But outside of the pedophilia stuff, you know that I'm right.
I always thought that shit was weird, man. And they tried to say, well, that's his love interest from a previous, the previous life and stuff like that. It's doomed to be. And I was just like, yeah, that still don't excuse him groping at that point in that life a girl. That shit used to freak me out, bro. Again. But like there was some other stuff in there that.
Again. But it wasn't. If it was like one character, you might say, okay, understand. But it's every character.
Every character.
Every love interest, I should say. Because look at Ban and Ellen. The only thing keeping them apart is age. But yet, he's a grown man and she's still a child.
Which one's Ban and Ellen again?
The immortal guy.
But isn't she a fairy? She old as fuck though. She's like thousands of years old, ain't she?
Yes, but how is she drawn?
Oh, okay. I
got nothing. Diane and King. King is as old as Ellen, but Diane is 7 or 10, something like that. She's all her mannerisms say little girl.
Oh, you mean a giant girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, because King is he's drawn as a kid too. All right. Exactly. Dang.
I got another one. Escanor and Merlin.
Merlin's an adult. But she's drawn.
Nope.
Man, she's not in adult form. She's a kid, though.
Yes, but the adult form is a hologram. But my thing is, Escanor knows of her true form. And he's an old man.
I like Escanor, though.
I'm just saying, the writers might need to be looked into for some stuff.
I never... He's an old man?
Yeah.
He's middle-aged. I like Escanor because he be talking that shit when he in fucking Sun God farm, though. I ain't gonna lie, man. Look, there's a lot of dirty stuff going on in this anime that's weird. Like, hey. But Escanor, he's like, me? You talking to me? How dare you talk to a I ain't gonna lie, bro. That boy talk that shit, dog. He's talking that shit. Like, if there's one bright spot in this anime, it's that. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in there. But I'll watch it. So I got some stuff lined up, but I still reeling. So Tokyo Revengers finished.
You finished it?
24 episodes. Fuck yeah, you know how it is. I'm a finisher, bro. If I don't start it, I'm fine. If I don't start it,
tell me when it's done.
But I had to heal first. I had to heal.
Watch it then.
No, you gotta watch it, bro. But you know I am, bro. Like, if I don't start it, I'm fine. That's why I haven't watched JoJo. Like, JoJo Adventures and stuff. Everyone's like, you should watch that. No. Don't. Everyone's like, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm going to like this. So I haven't started it. Because it's one of the situations that if I start it, even if it's bad, I'm probably going to keep watching it just because I got that completionist thing going on. We've talked about this back in BIM. That I've watched some really bad anime because I had to finish. I can look at the bar half full and be like, all right. so yeah, I'll definitely check out those two. Finish Tokyo Revengers. I guess it's setting up for another season. The way it ended.
Oh wow!
I've been trying
to continue the garbage.
Hey, it's pretty popular. It seems.
Anything that comes out of Funimation is popular.
Not anything.
Trust
Funimation,
me.
Funimation has a dude. I have Funimation. There's too much anime for it to be popular. I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you.
but you gotta check it. A lot of the people who find those kind of things popular start in the Naruto age when because Naruto was one of the first animations to get dubbed outside of Cowboy Bebop. That was
Dragon Ball Z.
That was in that age range. Right, Dragon Ball Z. But there wasn't a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans. And then all of a sudden, Naruto became accessible.
You sure there was a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans, or was I just niched up in Barbados? Like, I feel like it was pretty.
We was niched up in Barbados because what I realized, right? A lot of the, well, I don't know how else to put it, but a lot of the 90s anime babies and the prior don't like animes like that. So then it's a lot of the new age guys who are like, yeah, this is really hard and blah blah blah. Check this out, because to them it's new, it's exciting. Whereas to us it's like,
I always thought Dragon Ball Z was pretty popular.
Dog, we passed the golden edge.
I always thought it was same. It definitely wasn't. It definitely didn't in sales wise, which is crazy to hear. It like Bleach and One Piece and all them outsold Dragon Ball Z. That's crazy to hear. That's why they called them the big three. But anyway, okay, cool. But anyway, so yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, they're gonna continue Tokyo Revengers. You gotta finish it, bro.
Oh man.
What episode you on? 17?
16. Yeah. I might try it on Crunchyroll tonight. And
I was talking to this dude that I know on Instagram, because I know you see my Instagram posts. I'd be like, when I do the text, and I just be like throwing out like random shit. It'd be like just to poke the bear. So I was like, Tokyo Revengers would be a shit lot better without time travel. And the guy responded, he's like, time travel is the whole point of it. And I was like, and it fucks the story up because he comes back and somehow he doesn't remember his life. Like, I don't understand if he came back and he had a bunch of mixed memories and he couldn't tell what was. At least that's how I would have run it. If you wanted to put in this going back in time thing, you get what I'm saying? Because
you mean the fact that he comes back and he finds like the scars and thing and be like, oh yeah, like this happened.
But okay. Let me put it this way. So he goes back, he gets cut on the hand, right? So he goes, then he goes back, he shakes the dude's hand or something, he gets thrown back to the present. He notices the changes of everything that's going on, and then he sees the scar on his hand. The thing about it is the scar on his hand, his mind was still in the past, in his past body, and it happened to him. So he's able to remember there. But from the point when he goes back to the future, that whole space in between there, how do you... It's almost... So you try to tell me your body just moving in autopilot? So my thing is, if it would make sense, like, okay, he goes back, and then when he comes forward, and he goes back to his present self, his memories are mixed up from the different jumps. That would have made sense. He's like, all right, I'm not exactly sure what is true because I have these memories. No, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But he comes back and he's totally blank. And then like every time he jumps back, he goes back to the future or whatever, back to the future. Every time he returns to the future, sorry, it's a movie. every day he returns to the future, he reverts back to his episode 1 and 2 self. So where's the progression? The whole point is that. Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to talk over you. But the whole point.
No, it's fine.
The whole point I'm gasping is when he goes back, his character develops as he's a kid. So shouldn't those improvements jump forward with him? He goes back and he's like, oh, scared and shit again. Bro, you just fought a whole bunch of people. Where'd that do that?
Yep.
You know, so, and honestly, I don't really give a fuck about his future self. I kind of just want to see the story of him in the school and the bullies, the gangs and shit. Like, that story part is interesting. And then the way it ended.
Just do that.
That's what I'm saying. But then the way it ended is
so
like.
You see what I mean now by it feels like they're trying to redo Erase.
The good thing about Erase.
They're messing up the time travel.
Right, but the thing about Erase, you had a couple.
Erase, the guy went back and he stayed.
Right, that. And also, he was in a coma. So, there was, you know what I mean? Yeah, like you said, he stayed. And then after, you know, he went into a coma as a kid and he pretty much grew up in the comatose state. So, you didn't really have to worry about jumping forward and stuff. But like you said, he stayed though. Like, if they had done that and he stayed, and then it was him developing, making changes to his life so he doesn't end up, you know, and then in doing that, he discovered the different characters and stuff and the nefarious plan. I would have lived with that. I could live with that. But that jump back and forth shit, fucking, it breaks the story. Time travel breaks the fucking story. Sorry. I hate time travel, bro.
The other thing as well, because I think the first thing that caught my eye was the first thing he went back, he walked past one of the leaders. And I'm like, so you don't have a full recollection of the things that you see in the future? And then he goes back again. And then he sees the guy picture again. And I'm like, but none of you have changed that differently. The only character that changes drastically is you. Because you somehow go from this, like, slightly tallish, slender, bit toned, blonde hair to really short and stout, skinnier, not toned, but skinnier, and you haven't grown. But everybody around you turned into adult size. Like the animation is making a sense, the story is making a sense. Because the information that you gather from the future, you just somehow forget when you go back to the past. And then when you come back from the past, like, you completely blank. You don't know what happened in the world. And it doesn't match because, as you said, if you have changed your timeline and jumped forward, then your memories should jump with you. Like, even if that was the last change that you remember, everything else should be the same as the first timeline. Right. But you don't remember that. So then, as you said, when he comes back,
the only way that you could say that he wouldn't have, he should still get the mixing times, but the only way you could give that is if you're trying to go down Steins Gate where they're actually jumping. But the difference about Steins Gate is that the jumps are really small. It was like literally like a 5-minute jump, like a 3-hour jump. You know, like it wasn't years of fucking life.
Yeah.
You know?
Steins Gate was doing what, 5 minutes the most?
Yeah. Because it was like really hard math. I think that was the whole point. He was barely jumping, but he was jumping laterally, so it wasn't like he was going back in the same time. He was going like there, like if you had two parallel lines, so he was going there. So it was something totally different.
Yeah,
Steins Gate did a really good job. That was a hell of an anime, but like we said though, the time travel wasn't really the main focus though. So. Erase did a good job because Erase did it once. He hopped back and he stayed. And then
twice.
Twice. He did twice, right? He did twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
the first time Karu's birthday, because she got killed.
Right.
And he felt like a failure. So it triggered the emergency time travel sense in him. And then the second time, no, that was the second time. The first time was when he got hit by the bus.
Yeah, hit by the bus, right.
No, the mother got killed. Sorry. What am I talking?
It's hard, man. We talked about Erase last year around this time. Christmas, or a few months now. But
should we do it again for Christmas?
Now we got to find another Christmas one. I don't know. Erase was pretty. I mean, I was skeptical at first because of that, but it wasn't the premise of the story. The premise of this story is this guy jumping back and forth in time, pretty much.
Was the crime?
Yeah, for Tokyo.
Yeah,
so
that's what I said. It feels like they're trying to recreate Erased, but they've missed the premise of Erased. The premise of Erased was the crime, not the time travel.
Right, pretty much. So
the other thing that annoys me as well, you get to, because I only watched 16 episodes. 16 episodes, you get all these game fights. You still a bitch.
All right, all right, but
everybody else changed.
To be fair, he is in the first year of middle school. Like, bro. Wait. Oh, you mean when he goes back to the future? Or are you talking about him as a kid?
Both. Because my thing was...
I give him a pat, bro. So it's like you fighting a fucking 11-year-old, dog. Like, and they're all like
true.
14, 15.
True. But Sean, one of the biggest things of stories, even if you don't write stories and stuff, is that experiences shape the character. For 16 episodes, he went through fights with a mob, fights with the guy.
I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Right. I don't expect him to be like, yo, I just like Mikey. But at some point, you gotta develop. Your initial reaction shouldn't be,
correct.
Oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Oh, you take this bad. Wait till you see Bloody Halloween, bro.
What?
Woo! That's an episode. You don't see it yet. Anyway, I'm gonna just leave it at that, so you can watch it, and then we'll shoot the shit about it later. We're not gonna do an episode on of Tokyo Revengers. Cut that from the list.
Yeah.
Because there's a season 2, it's not done. So what's the fucking point? You know what I mean? I can't give it a overall. But I know one thing: when season 2 comes, it's probably gonna take me a little bit to watch it. This is gonna be one of those situations where I would just be like,
like me and Black Clover. I started episode 32.
I finished Black Clover.
I might watch that like Fairy Tale. I might just be like, yo, Sean,
dude, anything.
Yeah.
Them types of anime, bro.
Dragons? Yeah, it's about episode 72. I was like, all right, I started there, B.
I enjoyed Fairy Tale is definitely a better story. Dude, there's this show called Eden Zero. Eden Zero is by the guy that did
the man take the whole
cast, bro. Dog, I'm watching it. So I'm watching the first episode, and I'm like, hey, that's Lucy. Happy? Mm-hmm. And all going through my head is like, so is this
and
like a continual fairy tale?
The drill thing from that other anime.
Bro, like, it has nothing to do with fairy tale. Nothing outside of the characters. Mm-hmm. It's like it was
just making money.
You know what it's like? It's almost like a movie. You know, when movie actors go from movies to movie, it's like, all right, we just rehired these drawn characters for this new story. It's the same writer, same artist. They always was like, I don't feel like drawing new character models, bro. Reuse them. Reuse them motherfuckers, bro. Lucy is the main character again. She sure do get a lot of main characters. I hope she get paid.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was funny, bro. I that was one I watched the first episode. I had to stop. I was like, dude, I'm confused. So I'm gonna finish it. But all right, guys. So what's up? What do you want to say? I was about to wrap up.
I was saying, you know me. I'm not a mecha guy, so I don't plan to touch it.
Oh yeah, and then the end of the first, it seems like this one is more science mecha based instead of fairy tale, which is magic. I'm gonna be real with you, man. I don't have a good time with mechas anymore, bro. I remember I went through a mecha phase. I think that was becoming off of Gundam Wing.
We watched 2 mechas that was good. The one with the guy in space that had the pink robot, and Gundam Wing. That was
Darlie would say G Gundam.
Right,
G Gundam was terrible, bro. G Gundam was terrible, bro, but it was catchy. Burning finger. That thing was so bad. Darlie loved that shit.
I liked Robotat too, but Robotat story kind of went far left.
Robotat was good up to a point, and then it like just shot. I don't know, like somebody put in a cannon and shoot it to the next continent or something. I don't know what the fuck happened. That shit was
shoot it amongst Tinker.
Literally, bro. That shit. It didn't make sense that they went that direction. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway. And it was also old. It was that's the problem. That was the 1980s fucking anime, bro. But you got like He-Man, bro.
Excuse. Akira and
well, Akira's 90s.
Crap, what do you call them? Yeah. So they have
when I say 90s, 80s, what I mean is like how they had He-Man. Remember, He-Man was 200 plus episodes of "You won't win this time, Skeletor. I'll be back next week." You know what I mean? Like Thundercats and shit like that, where there was a purpose per se. It was, but it was so convoluted that you couldn't really, you know what I mean? It was just
Ninja
like
Turtles. Like, bruh, we don't plan to beat Skullcar. We just let you want to watch a Vortex every time.
Every time, it's just the same villain. It's just the same villain every week, but with a different plan. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. All right, guys. So next week. Are we gonna do next week since we missed some time, or you want to go 2 weeks again? Because he's gonna give us.
Let's try to do next week.
All right, so
this late
maybe next week or the week after, right? One of the two. Our next episode is going to be on Megalobox. Is it Megalobox? Okay, Megalobox.
I was hoping we could do Crimson Wolf and get a good laugh.
Crimson Wolf? What's that?
It's one that I put in the list, and I sent you a YouTube thing to it. It got banned from China. You need to watch it and find out why.
Crimson Wolf? Okay. Is it a series or a movie?
It's a movie. It's an old one, but it got banned.
Is it that one with the vampire China that you sent me?
No, that's comedy. That's the Irish one. That's the Irish movie. That was really good.
I was like, that was good. What are you talking about? Oh, okay. All right. But if anything, if we do, because we still try to keep it on the 2-week schedule, we watch Megalobox, and then just watch it, and then we could talk about it during shoot shit. So it won't be like the main topic. So Megalobox seasons 1 and 2. I don't know why they made a season 2, so I'm interested to see why they did that, because I thought the story was done at season 1.
Yep.
So we're gonna see. Hopefully it's good. And Crimson Wolf, maybe. And shoot the shit. But that's about it, guys. As always, stay safe out there. Peace.